Good afternoon and welcome back to event 2 of the Supreme Pool Series. This is a losers round 2 game, race to 8 between Clough and Ben Fortey. I'm joined in commentary by Matt Brearley.
Afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon, Matt.
Afternoon,
I've not had a chance to look at Ben Fortey before, so I'm really interested I mean, he came really close against Ben Davis yesterday. I think he was 10-6 up and lost
11-10.
Lost 11-10, yeah. So really interested. I know he's a very good young up-and-coming talent. So really looking forward to it. I mean, Clough, familiar face for a lot of pool fans, known as the Tower, the Blackpool Tower. So probably a bit of a contrast in styles between these two players as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. Yeah, obviously, Lee's a very steady, slow, methodical player. From what I've seen of Ben so far, he's just a cracking potter there, certainly a total contrast.
A bit of an early error there, didn't want to brush the red on the way past. So he's going to have to revert to plan B. Lots of other games underway at the moment. We're streaming 4 tables. Looking across those tables, I think Declan Brennan against Seb Webb is one that of note. That for those of you who don't know, they're about to face off in quite a big money match next month. So maybe an early indicator between those two. I know there's been a lot of words on social media about who's going to win that game. So that might be an early indicator for the result of that. They're currently 1 each. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. Brian Halcro's back in action against Richard Conn. Cole Bedford is playing Tom Cousins.
Yeah, it's a cracking match there, isn't it? In the losers round 2, really.
It really is.
And then Matthew Schofield as well against Shane Thompson. Matt's just had a good win in the last round.
Yeah.
Beat Goobs, the previous tournament winner.
Yeah, just Scott Gillespie just didn't seem to turn up this weekend for some reason. Wasn't able to settle, and that was kind of shown in his match against Matt Schofield. He was 7-6 down and went in off, and Matt had about 5 balls left on the table. And okay, they were drop-ins, but Scott conceded at that point. I think he just had enough of it. I mean, as I say, they were absolute drop-ins, but.
Yeah, I was chatting to Matt about it outside, actually, and he said, much as he'd really expect to get them because they were there, he was still amazed.
You can always get a kick.
Exactly, yeah. You don't expect to be given the game, so he was obviously quite happy with it. I mean, when I left, he was actually 6-3 down, so he's won all the last 5 to start that match. Just an early error here from Ben. Miss the long ball to the top left, and let's just give Lee a chance to get in the game. And that's what you don't want to do with a player like Lee, really, is let him get into a bit of a tactical game because he knows all the shots.
Yeah, he's going to tie you up in knots.
Yeah.
So Ben still probably with a slight advantage in the game. Just those two yellows on the side rail. Well, I mean, Lee can do something with them now, can't he?
It means how much he needs to. I'd be thinking about going for the clearance here and looking at planting those. But like you say, if he wants to, he could try and break one out.
That's exactly what he's trying to do. That's not.
It's not ideal.
No, it's not worked out. But I think it's still okay. You can play this dead weight and just drop it over the pocket, or and obviously if it's in, he's still got attacking options.
I think if anything, he's probably hit the wrong ball there. I think he was probably aiming for the lower yellow, which would have left him on the one that he actually hit over the middle. But I didn't feel he needed to do that.
No,
he could have maybe just played the clearance without doing
it. It felt like he could take the cut on the one in the middle and then just bump the other one out, but maybe do a disservice.
It's a nice recovery.
Yeah. So really just this one tricky ball nearest the right cushion. I mean, it does drop into the middle. I think he'd dearly love the one just to the right of the white line. He'd like to leave that as his last ball, but I don't think he's going to be able to.
On this shot. Too bad.
I'd have to assume that he was trying to play down a bit further, trying to get down on these two at the.
I think he was. He certainly looked at them, but maybe he was. He had it in the back of his head that if he did land short on it, then he'd always be on this one here, and he can plant the other two.
So it does look like he's got an angle here. If he wants to nudge that other yellow a bit further out, but. Probably doesn't need to. It does drop in the middle. So if you can land on it, which is what he's gone for. It's okay. You can just drop this in dead weight, and then he's got the plant. Just look from the other camera angle. It's. It's one of those, it's still just tricky. Doesn't want to play it to the far knuckle. Fine centre bag, perfect. Now it should be plain sailing for the first frame. Again, with this shot, you can just play it with a little bit of screw. The first yellow is going to stay. Just one cushion. To leave himself this fairly simple black. That's a nice clearance from Lee. He probably wasn't plan A all the way through. Probably had to go into plan B a little bit, but he got the job done. And it's first honours to Lee.
Yeah, I think he'll have been happy just to get his hand on the table in that frame, because as Ben started off, it looked like there might have been a clearance there for him. And he just clipped that ball on the bottom right, and it just made things tough from there.
Shane Thompson looks like he's in a hurry. That game is literally only just started. I saw Matt Schofield come into the building as I came in, and Shane's 2-0 up. Tom Cousins, Cole Bedford. I've got a mind to thinking that. That's a rematch of the first event. I'm sure that they met in the first event. Can't remember the scoreline.
Yeah, I know Cole beat Adam Davis, didn't he, in the first event? I don't know.
I might be wrong there, but I've just got it in the back of my mind. Anyway, Cole's 1-0 against Tom. Early doors in all those games. If you want to keep up with any of those scores, then head across to qscore.com. and search for the Supreme Pool Series. This is the Strachan Cup.
He actually went out fairly early on in the first series, didn't it, Tom? And then made his way through the losers. So.
Yeah.
Probably the same session, actually, as where he went out last night. So sure we'll be looking at trying to do the same thing.
Craig Waddingham's in a hurry against Sanjay Patel. He's 6-0 up. Sanjay plays out of
He
From the
does,
same
yes.
area too, isn't he?
Yeah, Savannah's.
Out of Savannah, out of JJ Falls Club.
Yeah, a very good player, Sanjay. I think he's originally from around sort of maybe Coventry somewhere, somewhere like that. Somewhere down Midlands anyway.
Yeah,
so,
he is. He, I think talking to him, he used to be a practice partner with like Rob Chilton and Mick Hill and people like that.
Yeah.
All around that kind of area in the Midlands.
I know
He's got some great stories, actually. He's
Yeah.
a really interesting guy to talk to.
Yeah.
He's got so much years worth of experience on the pool scene, and some really good stories.
He's got a money match coming up in Coventry, actually. Shortly, yeah, he's playing Phil Parkin.
Oh right, yeah.
Not seen much of Phil, but I've heard he's a top player.
Sam Bircher has just gone 6-all against Alex Bailey. I know Sam was quite a way ahead in that game. I think he might have been 6-2 or 6-3 up. I mentioned on commentary to Mark Farnsworth, the winner of that game is playing Mark in the next round.
Yeah.
Seb Webb now 3-1 against Declan Brennan. He's definitely going to have a point to prove in that one.
It's a very good shot that if he's on it. Yeah, it looks like he is. It's a very attacking shot, really. Open everything up there. One good shot now and should be all over.
That's a really nice shot.
Perfect.
Very well controlled. Doesn't need to do too much. Just screw it back just beyond where the cue ball is now. Probably just a few inches lower. May have wanted just to come slightly lower for it to be absolutely perfect, but
yeah, it'd have been very natural if it is.
Yeah.
Slightly more, but he looks okay, I think.
yeah, you can. It's just looking at the angle now. It's going to come off. Just needs to judge this nicely. It's all about the pace. Oh, that's a nice shot. You played that well. Just using that yellow as a bumper. Good start here from Lee. Solid stuff, and he's out to a 2-0 lead. And you said in the middle of that frame, so it was quite pertinent, really, because people always think of Lee as probably a more considered, maybe slightly more negative player, but played a great attacking shot in the middle there. He is naturally an attacking player, just quite methodical in his style, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. He just likes to consider his shots. He takes his time a little bit, but he is an attacking player. And, I mean, people probably think the shot clock would bother him here, but I don't think it would really. I think he's more than capable of playing at a decent pace.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't close to 45 seconds at any point during that frame. So you see the current scores from this losers round 2. As mentioned, Shane Thompson 3-0 up. Jez Graham back in action against Andy Barber. They're 1-1. Joe Prince is playing Daniel Bishop 3-0. Josh Kane and Kevin George just started. And the gentleman you listened to in the last match, Jordan Templeton, is just getting underway.
No, it's Ryan Clark's back in action. There's 2-1 up in his match. He had a close game yesterday with Mikkel. Ended up losing 11-8, but he should have gone 10-9. He was just an inch or two short of going 10-9. And he'd been ahead for a good part of the match as well.
Yeah, yeah. He was in control for
a good part, like the early half. But,
yeah. So Ben's just stepped away for a second. Lee and the ref just chewing the fat.
Actually, a bit of an optimistic double on Ryan Clark to beat Mick and Haji to beat Tom Cousins.
Oh yeah,
just because the odds were so good, I couldn't refuse them really.
And they were both winning it.
Who were Haji won? Yeah.
Oh, of course Haji. Yeah, of course he did. Yeah.
Haji won, and Ryan was still well in there with Mick, so it was quite close.
I bet they were both 5-1, weren't they?
Yeah, Ryan was 5-1, and Haji was 7-2 or 4-1.
Wow.
But Haji's actually got a really good record against Tom. That was the reason that I put him in, because I've never actually seen Tom beat him. So I thought 7-2, I couldn't turn it down.
Cole Bedford still just in control of that game against Tom Cousins. We watch that with interest. Cole's 2-1 up.
That Schofield's on the comeback there, 3-1.
Craig Waddingham 7-0 against Sanjay. Craig's on fire today because Sanjay, he's a good stick. I noticed that the Battle of the Kings went the way of Richard King. So
yeah, he had a big early lead there, didn't he?
Yeah, he was 6-0 up.
Yeah.
And looking good for it, to be honest. He wasn't missing a ball.
Right.
I think that one broke my accumulator.
Did it?
Yeah, fancied.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of people with Mike in the back.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you had any joy so far with the bunker?
No, can't get near it.
Right.
I've had 3 accumulators go down on Hill games. All 3 of them went against me.
Oh.
Horrible. Lots of sort of 3-ways and 4-ways. I had even had a 5-way yesterday with just one match that let us down, and that was Hill. That was Ben Mackey.
Yeah, the treble yesterday, and 2 of them went Hill, but luckily they both went my way.
Yeah.
So it came in.
Lovely when they do.
Yeah.
I know the bookie's been taking a bit of a pumping over the last couple of days. So
Was it?
yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be feeling too sorry for him, after all.
Exactly.
But you know, I mean,
He's
so
make up for it all the time.
yeah.
So.
Well, he's here to do a job, isn't he? And at the end of the day, it's got to be worth his while.
Yeah.
So he'll be on the trail of a recovery today.
Yeah, it doesn't always seem to be the case, so that on the Friday he seems to have a bit of a loss, and then on the Saturday night he seems to pull it back a bit.
Yeah.
I think it's just the games are getting tougher, they're getting harder to pick. That's where he tends to make his money back.
I think there were a couple of key results that went against him yesterday. One of them was actually that Ben Fortey game.
Yeah.
When Ben Davis made a comeback there were people crowding round him and taking packets of money off of him. So I think that a lot of people were sweating that game. So we'll just have a quick look back through the players run through the tournament so far. As we say, Ben Fortey lost a hill match against Ben Davis yesterday morning, and then this morning he played Mike Clifford and won 8-6. That's how he's got to this point. And for Lee Clough,
yeah, it was Dave McNamara.
Dave McNamara, yeah, he beat him 11-4, and then he lost to Craig Brown.
Yeah, same score.
Yeah,
11-4. Oh, he's had a terrible contact there. Oh, if he's straight on that, he'll be fuming, I think, because he played everything perfect in that clearance. Yeah. He's just had a horrendous contact.
I think he's got one of those where he's just got...
He can sneak the angle, can't he?
Yeah, he's got a tiny angle, and he can probably just...
I wonder whether he might just have to go to the other side. I think originally he'd have been playing it to the pocket where the yellows are.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe he might just have to find that gap between the red and black now and play for the red into the other pocket.
There you can see the white pretty much on the line between the two pockets. Maybe just to... It was
so
probably just be slightly above the line. I think he can steal a bit here, and I think it's one of those. If you play it with a lot of side, you can make it.
He's forced it in there.
Yeah.
Oh, just okay.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's going to have a bit of a trickier black now because he wasn't really able to control that how he wanted. Looks good. There it is. 3-0 to Lee Clough. It's another nice clearance. He took those out very well.
So Seb Webb has just won the next frame. He's now 4-1 up against Declan Brennan.
Surely Seb Webb wasn't having a safety game there at World Rules. I mean, it took a while that for him, didn't it?
It did.
So he's not really known for his safety playing, certainly not at World Rules.
No. The thing is, you know, in the context of the tournament, it's obviously a big game, but with a money match on the horizon, it will definitely give one of them a psychological edge. I mean, if for argument's sake Seb Webb runs out 8-2, he's really going to have a quite some mindset when he goes into that. I mean, on the day it might make no difference at all, but he will definitely take him.
With the type of player that Seb is, you could imagine it would as well, because you know he's a very confident player, and if he's already gone on and beat somebody easy, you can imagine it'd definitely help him.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Craig Lake, and they have a bit of a swagger about them, and
Yeah.
if they've got that swagger going, then it can be tough to stop, can't they?
Yeah. So, just a quick look back at our game. Look at the player profiles. Lee Clough is the Tower. He's 45 years old. He's got 3 sons, Cameron, Keenan and Ryan. And he uses a Tiger Q's Q with an 8.3mm Outmaster tip. His pool achievements: he's the 2012 Professional Masters champion, 8 times IPA event winner, and the 2007 World Champion semi-finalist.
Won a bit then.
Yeah.
He's a quality player, isn't he?
He's, when asked about his favourite pool Q Sport player, he said, difficult to answer. There's been so many great players, and he kind of toss a coin between Gareth Potts, Darren Appleton and Mick Hill. But he say he enjoys watching most of the top 15 pros. They make the game look so easy. And when asked what he'd like to achieve in the pool world, he says he's got no expectations, which, if you know Lee Clough, that's absolutely a typical thing of what he'd say. It plays down his ability so much. It's quite incredible. Whenever you speak to him, it's like, no, I got no chance. And he made the final of the one of the tournaments up at
Yeah, it was
JJ's,
the
didn't he?
STRN.
STRN, of course it was, yeah. Beaten by
Ben Davis
in the final.
In the final, yeah, it was.
And even that, he was playing it down. It's like, oh yeah, I've just got lucky to get here. And it's like, it's very, very humble.
I was chatting to him on the Friday, just after he'd played his first game, and it was exactly that. It was best saying, "Oh, I've got no chance.
Yeah,
I won't do anything. Lucky to get through that game."
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he's in final.
He said that, you know, after, because Lee had a long spell away from the game, and I think he returned to the game actually initially with this event in mind. And he had no real expectations when he started playing again, but after tasting a little bit of success through the STRN Open, he'd love to win one more big competition, maybe even like a world title.
Just a little bit short though. I'd be a bit disappointed with his position on that one. Still should be okay, but he just made it a little bit trickier.
Asked for a funny story about him. He said, apparently I have a reputation as a slow player. I know, unbelievable, eh? But amazingly, I once won an event with a 30-second shot clock. Greatest opponent that he's ever played against was old EPA rules. He said Ross McInnes, and in the modern game, Gareth, Darren or Mick. And he's a pretty decent golfer as well. Plays to a 14 handicap. His opponent is Ben Fortey, nicknamed Botox. Love to know where he got that from.
Yeah.
He's 21 years old. He uses a Q-Craft
21, you just shot me there. I'm amazed. He's 21?
I know, he doesn't look 21, does he?
Does he? No, they said about 16.
Yeah. Q-Craft Q with a 8mm out tip. Pool achievements, the under-23 world champion in 2015 and the men's Welsh Open finalist in 2014. Started playing age 12 in his local pub. His greatest influence has been his family for supporting him all the way through, and his favourite player, Tom Cousins. He practiced with him for a very young age. And he names Tom as the best opponent he's ever played against. But he needs to establish himself in this game, otherwise it's going to be an early bath.
Yeah, he's not done much wrong yet, to be fair.
He's been
clinical, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's got a chance now. Dry break. So.
Not the kindest looking tables that really for the dry break.
No, it's really not. And you feel that he's got to go yellows.
Yeah.
If you can take long yellow, the bottom corner, and then take the one over the middle. Then he's got kind of a 3-ball plant up the rail with a fairly big pocket where the red is. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got a slight angle on that one to the bottom. He might struggle to stay on that one for the minute.
Yeah, he might just be able to stand across and play that plant up the rail as his next shot. I say the plant up the rail. I'm looking at him now. He's going to go race.
Not sure about that one.
No, I don't.
I wonder if the time maybe got to him a little bit there.
Possibly.
Yeah, there was no real plan with that shot. I'd rather have put that long yellow and just had the back with the other yellow really than doing that.
Yeah. I think that was the key for me, is the yellow that was over there. As I say, I might be doing him a disservice, but it looks like you can do something with those. It looks like you can do more with the 2 yellows on the right-hand side than you can with the reds.
I think personally, if I was Lee, I'd probably just cover that pocket where the like the plant that you're talking about would go, and then you're not really leaving anything. Can't see a clearance being on from there, and you can look at breaking her out next time. See Matt Schofield's getting himself back into that game now, 3-2. Been quite a long frame, that one.
Yeah, he'll take a lot of confidence from that win over Scott Gillespie. He would have been a fair underdog with the bookies. Didn't see what the price was before, but
it was 1-6 and 7-2.
Yeah. Tom Cousins is now taking the lead against Cole Bedford. Sam Bircher has got on the hill against Alex Bailey. Bash McSood is in a game against Victor in Labar. Victor in showing the value of travelling over from France. He's done pretty well this weekend already. Carl Howe is playing Drew Hughes. Carl's currently 7-6 up. I saw Carl in the bathroom just before he came over, and he was saying how hot it is in that arena. He said that he's just clamming up his hands. He was in there washing his hands because it is warm out there. I mean, it's warm in here, but there's a lot of bodies in that arena.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be warmer in the sort of like the bar area than the actual playing area, but it still is fairly warm.
It is, yeah. I think it's going to get worse tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and it certainly doesn't help when you start getting sticky and your cues sticking as you're queuing through. It's not ideal.
3-3 now, Cole Bedford against Tom Cousins. Nothing between them. Brian Hargrove's 3-2 up against Richard Combe. Seb Webb now 4-2. Greg Batten's in action against Sean Story. That's a good game. 2 frames each. And those two players both had success in the precursor to this. Sean Story won the Bulldog Security Challenge, and of course Greg Batten won the Players Amateur Championship, and that's why they call him the Pac-Man now. So that was basically the amateur precursor to this event that they played last year, which has now evolved into this event. So, a good match up there.
Yeah, it's been quite a change, hasn't it, from the amateur event that
Hasn't
we
it ever?
had up to this. I mean, it was a good standard before, but it's gone through the roof now.
Lee just showing his experience there, leaving Ben really nothing.
I think in a way Ben will just be happy to be getting some shots in this frame, really.
Yeah, a bit of table time, get his arm
Yeah,
going.
he's 4-0 down, but he's not really done a great deal wrong, has he, to be fair?
Drew Hughes against Carl Howe has now gone hill. Clever little shot there from Ben. He's put both of his yellows, both of his reds into a slightly better position and left Lee with no shot. It looks like it's going to be much of the same from Lee. Just play this off one rail and back on top of the red. Now the key to the frame really becomes the little cluster of 3 balls on the right hand cushion.
Yeah, he'd love to open them up, but unfortunately opening them up will just hand Lee the game, really.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Lee's got a much better opportunity to open them up with having that yellow near it. If he gets the opportunity, he can definitely have a look at that.
I just wonder if Ben could just play onto the first red of the 2, just to nudge the second red, so it goes in front of the yellow, and the other red will stay behind the yellow, so it kind of ties up 2 of the balls. Because that one really, I mean, okay, he's tried to push the black up over the red, but has not really achieved much with that shot. No real obvious opener here for Lee. He's got the yellow to top right, but he won't want to take that. He's, as you mentioned a minute ago, that's the ball that he wants to use to open up his other yellow.
Yeah, ideally he needs to leave it there, but whether he'll feel he's got no choice here.
I wonder if he can get through that gap to the one second closest to the top cushion. Doesn't look like he can.
Yeah, just drops onto it. Not really doing much with that shot, but just biding his time, really. Just making sure things aren't open for Ben.
Yeah, and that's
Not a bad effort.
Yeah.
He had a good look at that to see whether it went there, and he's played it at a nice pace to just keep a little bit of control.
yeah. Definitely gives him more control in this frame now. Gives Lee something else to think about. Really key frame, this one, obviously. 5-0 and 4-1, a vast difference. I mean, 4-1 with Ben breaking next if he can find a bit of confidence and find a break and dish. 4-2, then he's snapping on the heels. Just take it one frame at a time. under pressure there. You heard
yeah.
the referee counting down. She was down to 2 seconds. Lee trying to cut that one down inside the yellow. Valiant attempt, but opens up a really nice opportunity now for Ben.
Had he already used his extension there or not, Liam? I don't remember him doing
No,
that.
I don't either.
I don't know why he's rushed that one really. Could have maybe used his extension and just made sure of the shot.
Yeah.
I think whenever somebody's counting down, you're going to play the shot in quite the way you should.
It's okay, you can just use the yellow here. Stop the white. Two now, Seb Webb versus Declan, and just looking to see who's at the table. It is Declan, so he's on the clearance, and he's on the black to make it 5-3. So he's pegging it back. Ryan Clark's 6-1 up against Dean Wilson. Jack Whelan just about to start his loses round 2 game against Martin Hazel. Craig Marsh is 1-0 up. Sorry, just gone 2-0 up against Sam Mills. Kevin George beating Josh Kane 3-2. Josh has been struggling a bit this weekend. Saw him earlier and he said that he just won a game, but it wasn't pretty. Greg Batten 2-all against Sean Story. Still, Brian Halcrow 4-2 against Richard Conn. Tom Cousins has won the next frame against Cole Bedford. He leads 4-3. Shane Thompson's still just ahead against Matt Schofield, 4-3.
Yeah, it's turned into a bit of a battle, that from 3-0, hasn't it?
Yeah. Joe Prince 7-1 up against Daniel Bishop. And Lee Washbrook is a couple of frames away from beating Gareth Higgins, 6-4 up.
Well, Ben will feel a lot better there for getting one on the board and be hoping for a nice break here. And he's certainly got one.
Yeah, he's crunched them. Absolutely crunched them. And Reds are about as good as you're going to hope for when you want to get another frame on the board. Great chance now for 4-2.
Yeah, definitely. Just get this first positional shot right and away you go.
Just start applying a bit of pressure.
Just snuck its way in there. He'll settle for that. It's not a bad position there. He's probably lost his white slightly from where he wanted to be. But
yeah, I wonder now if he'll probably work his way back up the table. He's probably take out these 2 at the bottom there and leave the yellow on the right hand cushion as his last ball to get on the black. Actually, no, he'll play that as his penultimate, won't he, and use the one over the left middle. Yeah, left middle.
Yeah, ideally he'll pop this one now into bottom left and just come off the side rail, maybe even make use of that yellow that's nearest it.
I think he might just be able to punch it through the gap, actually. Yeah. Okay. So only one potential banana skin. Should be okay. He doesn't really need to do anything with the white ball, so it's just come the wrong side of this red to make it ideal. He would have liked to have been the other side and get a bit closer to the one up the cushion just to make it that much easier.
Wow, I'm surprised he's played
Yeah, I really don't know why he's played that. He's obviously trying to get closer to the red, but in doing so, I think he's got further away.
Yeah, he could have dropped it in dead weight.
Just dropped it in
a
left
foot
himself.
closer, better angle.
Needs to cue this well now. Yeah, just not at the races at the moment. Oh, there's a drink gone over from Lee. Whoops, a daisy.
Is that a bit of shock there? wasn't expecting to come to
No, I
table.
don't think he was. Ben. I don't know what kind of experience he's got in this kind of arena, but it is. I mean, it's difficult. You're under the lights, and suddenly there's 6 or 7 cameras pointing at you, and he's a better player than this. He's not quite done himself justice. A real good chance there to apply some pressure.
Yeah, it was just a strange decision to come round off 2 with check side there. I thought it was just needed to just drop that ball in, and he'd have just been dropping his ball into the top right.
Then. Yeah, just leave it on, leave it, a couple of inches off the rail, and he's got literally just a drop in to give himself a shot on the one over the middle. It's probably just a little inexperience.
It's a very clever shot there from Clough. I think he could have played that much better. He's got Ben in all kinds of trouble now.
Yeah. Lee, the kind of player who's not going to take any chances. He's just going to get the foot firmly on the throat and.
Yeah, he certainly has done with that shot.
No mercy. So, 2 visits. Is probably one of those occasions where you almost play it as if it were black ball now and just lay up your first.
Yeah, it's
the first shot.
Good call for that, because all the rest, I mean, even the one on the rail, they're all there really, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, the one on the rail is he's got a perfect ball to get on it, so it's worked out okay. I don't think it's exactly what he wanted. In some ways, a little bit fortunate that yellow's come out to where it has. Otherwise, you'd have had a fairly tough pot next up.
Well, I'm wondering if that's what he was playing, to be on that yellow, but he just wanted to come a little bit further, because otherwise I can't really see what else he'd have been playing for.
No.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Yeah. I think he's okay with this. I think he'll screw on and off the side rail to get on the one at the top of the table, just like so.
Yeah. Probably got into that a bit too much, if anything.
Yeah, it really did. And now he's quite close to the rail, so slightly hamper queuing. It's not a gimme, this. I mean, this pot's a gimme, but struggling to see where his next easy positional shot's going to come from. I think he may have to take the one to the middle, because
I was just thinking that.
there's no real way out from that yellow with the red being where it is. You can only really kind of screw into it.
I think I'd rather come up for that last ball.
Yeah.
I think I'd take this to the middle, screw off the side rail, have the other one to the middle, the one down the rail, and then the one that's sort of towards a black spot, use that to get back up the table.
Yeah. Just call his extension. He's still looking at this ball at the top, but yeah, it's going to get a plan B.
Yeah.
If he's just trying to screw back up front with no. No, he's going to come back up for that.
Got choices now, aren't there? You can either drop this into play on it, or he can knock it off the rail.
Yeah, I think we'll probably see him
Yeah,
play into the middle and just
it's a play into it. Looking at that angle.
Only because you're going to be really unfortunate not to be on the ball. That's a really nice shot. Controlled it well.
Just needs to make sure now that he leaves the right angle on his second last ball to get back up the table.
Yeah, he needs to.
He's looking at taking this one in the middle and he's bouncing the white off the side rail.
It kind of surprises me a little bit. I think I'd probably prefer to go corner first and just come around.
Yeah, I think his worry is that if he did that, he might not land with the right angle.
Yeah, has to finish low. Yeah, I guess that's fair enough. I mean, because whatever angle you leave on this ball into the corner, you're going to have a shot.
Yeah,
that's a fair shot. Now, ideally, he wants to finish high. Doesn't want to finish low. And I mean, the thing is, you can't be too high on this, can you? Even if you're on the top cushion, you're still good. You don't want to be anywhere around the bonk line. Looks to be perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely. He couldn't have placed that better by hand. Top stuff from Lee. Okay, he's been presented with a few chances, but you've got to take them.
Yeah, he's looked good when he's had the chances. He's looked very clinical.
Tom Cousins now showing his class against Cole Bedford. Stretches his legs out to a 6-3 lead.
That Brennan and Seb Webb's tightened up a little bit there. It's,
Declan won the next frame, and it's 5-4, and looks for the world. Yeah, it's Declan at the table again on a pretty simple finish to take it to 6-all.
Keeps it all nice and interesting for the money match, and doesn't it? It's important for Lee to win that one, really, because Ben had managed to sneak the one before it and looked like he was going to dish off the break to take it to 4-2. The 5-1 lead now. He's at commanding position, really, Lee.
It was bugging me that Cole Bedford Tom Cousins from the last one. I was just had a look through the Q score. He had some run in that last event, actually. He Played Matt Schofield in the first round and beat him. Played Ian Duffy, beat him 11-7 in the second round. And then he beat Adam Davis 11-10. And then he lost to Darren Appleton. Then he played Jordan Shepherd and beat Jordan in the losers' side. And he lost to Phil Harrison 8-1 in the losers' round 7. So he had a pretty good run. I think he was pretty close to picking up the non-elite.
The non-elite, yeah. Yeah, when you only lose to Daz Appleton and Phil Harrison, and you beat everybody else in front of you, you've not done bad.
Talking of Phil, I mean, you played Phil yesterday, didn't you? I mean, I was interested only because sorry to remind you about it. There's another really loose one from Ben. I mean, I kind of looked at this event and looked at the bookies before and saw that Phil was 12-1. Obviously, you know, the losing finalist just a couple of weeks ago to Mick Hill, and clearly had his chances as well in the final. And I thought that he might come in with a bit of a grit and determination and want to win it. Yeah. I mean, he came out the traps at you yesterday, didn't he?
Unbelievably so. Yeah, it was.
Was he? I mean, was it that he was just on it?
He was 9-1 up. He'd had 7 dishes off the break.
Wow.
And then the first visit and the second visit to finish. So it was ridiculous. Yeah.
Wow. Did you go straight to the bookies afterwards?
I should have done. Yeah, I mean, he was on fire. Cause I've had a couple of not good results, but played well against him recently. Had a 7-all in the Premier League against him the other week. And then at the Worlds, almost, I ran him very close. Anyway, I ended up losing 8-6, was ahead for the full match.
Yeah.
And at 6-5 up, I've dry brought twice. He's dished them both and took his. I've played well against him. And then yesterday, he was just unplayable. Yeah, there was absolutely no sort of excuses from me there, really. It's just couldn't compete, really, at that.
Yeah, I did, like I say, after the first event, we saw him on stream in the first event, and he just didn't look at the races. It just didn't look like the normal Phil. And then seeing him make the final, I just thought, hang on a minute, this is looking a bit ominous. This is Phil coming back into form. So I thought 12-1 was quite long.
Well, at the Worlds, you actually once you got through the sort of qualification bit, you had to draw your own name out of a hat, effectively.
Oh, really?
For who you get. And as I was going up for it, I'm thinking, I just don't want to be near Phil. And typically, I was one match away from him. I was managed to avoid him for the last 64, but play him at last 32. I thought it was the only one I didn't want to play.
Yeah. I mean, I say that Phil wasn't at the races. I mean, Phil not being at the races in the last one. Well, he beat Oli Bell in the first round 11-2, and then he beat Neil Wren 11-9, and then he got beaten by Ronan, which is no disgrace.
Yeah.
And then he beat Liam White, Craig Lakin, Adam Marlowe, all through the losers section, Cole Bedford, and he lost in the losers qualification to the eventual winner, Scott Gillespie. So if that's
not at the
Phil
race,
Harrison, who's not at the races, yeah. But he just didn't look his kind of normal self, settled at the table, and I had a feeling before this event I just wouldn't be at all surprised to see him out there contesting the final. Yeah,
certainly if he keeps playing like that, then without a doubt he's in with a great shout.
Well,
and he won.
His next game is huge, though, isn't it? I mean,
yeah, well, he won 11-2 again last night, so he was obviously still on it. But his next game is just massive, isn't it, against Mellon? Because apparently I didn't see Mellon's game because I was on at the same time, but apparently he was just ridiculous yesterday.
Mellon was sublime yesterday. Yeah, we watched him. We watched him on stream, and he was just great to watch. So for those of you who are unaware, in an hour's time, our 4 o'clock kickoff is going to be the small affair of Phil Harrison against Chris Melling. So I mean, that is just an absolute monster. And who's to say that the winner of that game won't go on to the final? That could be a final. That would grace any tournament as a final.
I mean, Chris has got to be one of, if not the best players to watch.
Yeah,
when he's on form, just makes it look ridiculously easy.
It's I mean, for me, there's 2 players there who rarely have a bad game. I mean, you'd have to say, on paper, I haven't seen the bookie yet, but on paper, Just because of Phil's consistency, you would have to make him the favourite,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think if I was pricing it, I would probably make Phil 8 to 11.
Yeah, there's not going to be much in it.
And kind of even money, or just over 11 to 10 for Chris. But that's not taking anything away from Chris. Chris could come to the table and absolutely blow him away. But Phil, for me, is he's always been in my. I mean, people talk about their top fives and they never mention Phil Harrison. He's in my top five, without doubt. I mean, he's been one of the most consistent players ever. Not for longevity, I'm talking about over the last 20 years. Even if you look at, there's a guy that's been on the scene for what seems like forever, and if you look at the last 3 seasons on tour, I was just looking through the tour results recently.
Yeah.
I just went back, right? Oh, Phil Harrison, he won, like, when they were talking about Tom Cousins back-to-backs. Well, I think it was like 2015. I think Phil won 3 events.
Yeah.
2016, Phil won, 2 events, and the year that Cousins did his 3, Phil's still in there.
He's still picked up
still
an
in there
event.
with
He was
another
still
event.
in finals.
And there's only been 2 events this year. He's won one of those.
Yeah.
And the other one was Kendall.
Yeah, it was.
Every single year, he's winning tour events. In that strength and depth of field, it's just amazing. And even watching Mick Hill's acceptance speech when he won the trophy, he was almost apologetic that he'd won, just to sort of say, look, I know I did it because I just turn up and I don't really practice and I've just done it. And this guy here is just, he just wins everything he touches, and he's been doing it for donkey's years. I don't know how I beat him, and it's almost apologetic. I mean, Phil Harrison is up there amongst them all. So to be able to have that kind of lineup in, winners round 3? Winners round 2. It's going to be an incredible game.
Yeah.
Who can call it? I mean, I don't know.
It's just too close to call. And I think you're right in terms of Phil going in as favourite, just because Phil plays the game all the time, whereas Chris obviously jumps between the different games.
And to be fair, Chris can put in a. I mean, everyone can put in a bad performance, but Chris can just suddenly throw in one.
I think Chris's main downfall seems to be that he loves the big shots. He wants to be going for it all the time, and he wants to be playing the shots that he press.
He's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah, exactly. And he can do it, but obviously taking that gamble then that occasionally you don't want it.
But that's what makes it so exciting to watch.
Yeah.
You never know what's around the corner. You're looking at it thinking, oh, he's going to maybe try this shot or try it. I mean, you can't call it. You can't even call it on commentary because you just don't see the shots that he sees. I mean, I was commentating with him yesterday, and we were talking about that exact thing. The fact he's so expressive and so inventive. And we were talking about the fact that a lot of the shots that he plays is because he's played snooker at the highest level, pool at the highest level, 9-ball at the highest level. His cue ball control, he does exhibitions all the time, and he picks up a lot of things from exhibitions because he can make a cue ball act. I mean, there was a particular shot they were playing. He said, for example, this shot here, he said, you can get that, you can play that ball into the middle bag and get the white ball up on the top cushion without hitting a cushion. And, he didn't say this is how you do it, but he said most players wouldn't have a clue how to do that because you never have to use a shot like that until that one time where you're presented with it and you're going like, oh, I can do this. Whereas other players just don't see it because they don't have it in their armoury. Yeah. And that's what makes it so exciting. Yeah. And we were talking about obviously that clearance that he did that went viral, that's been watched by about 60 million people. Yeah. And he was saying, that's the kind of stuff he does all the time in one-off situations, but to put together in a frame that's being televised and to do like 3 or 4 of them back to back.
In a call shot match, where there's no flukes, you're getting exactly the shot you say. Yeah. it was a fantastic clearance. So.
Amazing. And for those of you who don't have a clue what we're talking about, well, firstly, where have you been? And secondly, just Google. I don't even know what you need to Google. If
Chris Millen amazing clearance would probably bring it up. I'd imagine.
Yeah, that might get you quite a few hits. But if you just Google it, it'll be one of the top videos on YouTube. Chris Melling ridiculous clearance or something like that. I mean, I know Johnny Archer was commentating and he, when it got to the last ball, he said, I don't know what he's going to do here. And then it suddenly clicked what he was going to do, and he went, oh my God, I can't believe he's going to play this. And if it comes off, this will be the greatest clearance that has ever happened. And it probably was. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see a better clearance because of the fact that I think it'd more likely be that somebody's had a bit of luck or, they've sort of maybe fluked the ball, but it looks like an amazing clearance, whereas with that one, with it being called shot, you just know he's played every shot.
He went for every one of them.
Well, this is looking ominous for Ben here. It's looking very much like it's going to go 7-1 there. He's not really put a foot wrong so far in this match. I think although Ben's had a couple of chances, he's not a great deal. They could have done different.
Yeah, so I just put, I just Googled Chris Melling amazing clearance, and the first hit on there was most unbelievable run out ever. 8-ball by Chris Melling, and that video, I think there's a number of videos on YouTube. That video alone got 7.5 million views, and then there's I know it went on Facebook and it got, well, tens of millions. I mean, it was ridiculous. He was saying yesterday that it's, the previous Q Sports video in hits was something like 20 million, and that one's got like 60. There's a...
That's a turn up for the books. I wasn't expecting that.
Just trying to...
It's been so solid the whole match that...
You know what you're going to get with lead.
Yeah, you'd have put your house on him getting that, really.
Yeah.
Well, Ben definitely needs to step up here and get these. He wants to stay in this match. Not really seen a great deal of Ben. I've heard good things about him. He's supposed to be a fantastic snooker player and great potter, obviously, at this game. I saw a money match not so long ago where he had a very good comeback. And I think he won a deciding frame. He's going to have to go some to come back in this one.
So Declan Brennan is now 7-5 up on Seb Webb. What a turnaround that is. So maybe it's Declan Brennan that's going to take that massive psychological advantage. But Seb Webb,
a lead there as well, Seb, didn't he?
He did, yeah. But Seb is now at the table. So he's got a chance to take it to 7-6. I mean, if this goes hill, they probably, neither of them will take anything from the game. Yeah. They'll just go, oh yeah. I just get the feeling that if Declan wins that, the pot could go through the roof. Because no disrespect to any of the Irish watching, but we do know you like a little punt over there. So I know it's currently billed at 30,000, but I think it's going to go off at probably double that.
Yeah.
It could be a massive game. This is better for Ben. He's still, well, he's got a decent angle here.
To just sneak past that black.
Yeah.
Needs to avoid it. Needs to avoid it. Oh, it's a
dear.
disaster. I think he needed to punch that in a little bit, just really cue through it so that his white kind of acts past.
Yeah. Yeah, just open up the angle.
Yeah. Oh, disaster.
Oh dear. He's punched it to try and straighten it, where I don't think he probably didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a chance of putting that back, 'cause he could have either got it clean or off the yellow, so it was definitely on the shot he was looking at, but he's just got nowhere near it.
I think he won quite a... I can't remember who he played now. He played a money match against somebody recently, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. It was...
wasn't Keane or someone, was it?
No, it wasn't Keane. I can't remember who it was, but I know that he came back from quite a way behind.
Yeah, he won it, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, but he wasn't... was it Lee Washbrook?
Oh, it might have been.
I've got a
actually.
feeling it was Lee Washbrook,
Yeah.
and I think Lee... Yeah, if it's a match I'm thinking of, Lee was a good way ahead.
Yeah.
And he had a cracking chance to win it. He had 2 balls into the middle, and he'd fallen slightly off angle on it, and all he needed to do was just pot one and go past, and then pot the other and come back sort of over. And instead he's tried dropping one in dead weight, and he didn't really need to do it, and that was about the last shot he got. Ben just went dish.
Yeah.
It was one of those where he must have been looking back and ruined it.
So this the scoreline's starting to look like a bit of a procession. It's 7 frames to 1. Anyway, as much as Lee dominated this earlier, Ben can't say he's not had a few chances to put himself back into the game in the second half. There's been a couple of dry breaks from Lee and a few opportunities.
Yeah, I think you just get a couple of those chances. It's hard, you're 5-3 and you're still in the game, aren't you?
Yeah, that's a nice shot, controlled that well.
7-1, he's needing a bit of a miracle now, really, to come back against somebody like Lee.
So Declan Brennan is on the hill. Sever did win that next frame, so 7-6. Declan currently at the table. Joe Prince beat Daniel Bishop 8-1. Craig Waddingham rounded off that game against Sanjay Patel 8-0. Gareth Higgins, he was behind in that game against Lee Washbrook, but he wins 8 frames to 7, and we say goodbye to Lee. Drew Hughes in that tight game against Carl Howe. Drew went through 8-7. So again, we say goodbye to Carl. Seifert Simmons just bulldozed Christy Colefield. 8-1. I saw Simon upstairs actually. He said he played really well. Cole Bedford exits right stage. Tom Cousins, as soon as he found his form, and that was tight up until 3-all, and then Tom Cousins won that 8-3. Tom doing what Tom's very capable of doing.
Well, there's one back for Ben.
Greg Batten's got his back to the wall. He's 6 frames to 3 down. Jack Whelan, who, as I mentioned yesterday a couple of times, he's very much a informed player. He's 5-2 up against Martin Hazel, and he's going to be hard to beat in that loser section.
Who'd sort of Jack out the winner's side? Because I know he won his first match, didn't he, against Farnsworth?
Yeah, he played last night against Dunster.
Yeah,
he was well in control as well.
Yeah.
I think. Just trying to remember what happened now. There's so many games they kind of they pale into one. But I'm pretty sure Jack was well in charge. I think he was like 6-3 up. Oh wow.
What a big break. He's been very unfortunate.
He's absolutely nailed that break. Potted 4 balls. Well, potted 5 actually, because the white's gone as well. That's that could be the last part he plays in this. What a break. Just nailed it. But compromise with the white.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because his white wasn't going in, but it got kicked in, like got fired in off one of the balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can't ask for much of a better chance there, really, to seal the match.
Yellows?
Yeah, I think so.
Just be stunning this back out for this other yellow next to the red. Just wonder, can he screw across the face of that red just to leave the other yellow in the same bag?
Yeah, it's certainly what he wants to do, and if he can just avoid that red, I suppose. He's always got options, because he could play this, the one that's a bit below the black spot if he had to. If he wanted to pop this and play onto that.
Yeah. Kind of. Had a expression, a kind of quizzical expression on his face. It's just
yeah, it's not quite give it enough. So I think he'll have to take that one that's just below the black spot there. And
he's kind of naturally got a hangdog look about him, and he's like never looks like he's happy. Bit of a Phil Harrison look.
Yeah, right, Phil's perfected that.
Pulling all kinds of grimaces, shaking his head, having a little mutter to himself, and then he'll just plop it in and leave himself perfect.
So 7 dishes off the break yesterday, and he never looks happy in one of them.
Yeah. That's got to be a lot of fun, hasn't it?
Well, he might just be okay.
I think he is, yeah. I think he's had a bit of a touch with that kiss.
Yeah, because worst case, he could always stun into that red if he can't hold it, but I think he might be able to hold it anyway. Yeah, I mean, if it had stopped sort of another inch or two before, it would have made it interesting.
He's just put a bit of right hand side just to. Looks like he's going to just run off to side rail, just check it. He's okay. He's okay. That little bit of check side he put on it's just held him low enough. And this has been a top performance from Clough. Unlucky to bend 40. Just not quite at the races today, but he'll be back. Very young man. He'll grow from that experience.
Yep.
Good learning experience for him. We'll see more of him in future events, but for now, we've been in farewell, and it's Clough that progresses through to the losers round 3. Our next game on this table is going to be, as we mentioned before, the small matter of Phil Harrison versus Chris Melling. So do stick around for that game. If you want to head across and watch that Hill game, well, it's now a Hill game between Seb Webb and Dick Brennan. I can see, in fact, you can see in the background, Seb is currently at the table. He was on camera shot a second ago. That's him in the pink shirt just to the left behind the Ben 40. There we go. There he is shaking his head. Anyway, you can watch that across on one of the other tables. Thanks, Matt. Thanks for your time.
Yep, cheers.
Enjoyed commentating with you.
Yeah, it's good.
And we'll be back at 4 o'clock. We'll see you all again very soon. I don't know yet. It looks like there's going to be an interview as well. So Lee Kendall will be in there with Lee Clough very shortly. So stick around for that.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. Good afternoon. I'm joined by Lee Clough for that performance. Lee, tough opponent in Ben Fortey, but he didn't really turn up at the races there.
No, he didn't, no. And I seen he lost 11-10 to Ben Davis last night. I thought I was going to be in for a really tough game because I've not been playing great. I'm not potting off the break, so I didn't fancy it, especially when I found out I was on the arena table. But luckily, yeah, he had a few dry breaks himself and missed a few chances. Should have been close, really.
Do you think it might have been the big occasion? I'm guessing he's not really experienced in that arena environment.
Maybe, but I've just heard that he didn't go to bed as early as he could have done last night, so that might have something to do with it.
That might have a bearing on it.
I think he was disappointed with losing against Ben because I believe he was in front near the end. So
great performance by you, though. I mean, take absolutely nothing away. You just didn't give him anything.
Well, I don't know. I played better than I played probably in the winners' side, but I felt like I did give him a couple of chances where I should have controlled the frame, but yeah, I didn't miss a lot. You know, I did miss a couple, but yeah, happy to get through anyway.
Yeah, see what happens. I think your next game, winner of Jez Graham. I'm not sure who's playing. I did have a quick look.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure myself, to be honest.
Don't really care. You're not one at looking ahead in the.
Well, I care. I'd rather not play the top 10, 20 players, but you're going to run into them sooner or later, aren't you? The field's just loaded, isn't it? You can't stay away from them. So, Yeah, I'm not really too bothered now. Yeah, I'm not expecting much, so you never know. Something might happen.
We did mention that on commentary because you're always, you don't have any high expectations of yourself, do you?
Not in this field, no. If I was playing well, maybe I'd be quietly confident, but since the hot weather's kicked in, I'm struggling.
But if you keep performing like that, you've got every chance.
Well,
to
if
go
my
deep.
opponent keeps performing like that, I might go deep. Yeah.
I think you're putting yourself about.
Well, I'll just see. Yeah, just see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like I'm not playing great, but obviously I'm still in. That's all that matters.
Great stuff. Thanks for your time, Lee.
Yeah, no problem.
That's Lee Clough. He's still around. He's still a feature in the tournament.
Still alive.
Yeah. Next up, we've got the absolutely fantastic game. The potential is enormous between Chris Melling and Phil Harrison. Stick around for that game. We can't wait for it to happen. We'll see you very shortly. That'll be live at 4 o'clock.